So you might be asking, Lance, why is it that you have a brand new set of CBI Maxtrax mounts for your overland bed bars and a set of Maxtrax locking pins? You've already got a perfectly good one on the truck. Well, I hit a deer. Yeah, I'll tell you about it. Let's get it installed, talk about the bed bars, and I'll tell you about that little deer. So if you're not already caught up on the channel, my last video I posted was a summary, tips, tricks, kind of synopsis of the Trans-Wisconsin Adventure Trail. So check that out if you haven't. A fun trail. Would highly recommend doing it with a couple friends. A great trail to do, especially if you live in the Midwest, not too far. What we ran into, literally, the first night was a white-tailed deer. Traveling to our campsite the first night, trying to get there, going about 55 miles an hour down a road. A medium-sized doe came out and I didn't even see it. My passenger screamed and it's like, oh my God. I looked at her and didn't even see the deer at all. Heard a thunk as soon as I looked at her and I knew exactly what happened. Looked in the rearview mirror, saw a small to medium-sized doe, whitetail, doing 360s down the other side of the road. Sure, her head impacted the driver's side rear window where there's kind of a smudge still. I haven't really spent some time cleaning that yet. And her body kind of ran across the Maxtrax mounts. Probably gave her a nice little massage. Didn't feel too good, I'm gonna imagine. Bent the mount that holds the Maxtrax. Bent all 4 locking pins that hold the Maxtrax in. And kind of pushed everything down. It actually lifted up the CBI bed bars that hold my tent too. Not a big deal. And it actually did put a little dent in front of the taillight that I'm probably just gonna have popped out. I may or may not even do that. We'll see. Anyway, as far as deer hits go, it's pretty mild. It's the third one, at least the third one I've been in, growing up in the Midwest in the state of Iowa. So kind of, it's literally best case scenario. I just had to buy a set of overland bed bar Maxtrax mounts, which I will put a link to down below and I will show here in the video. The reason why I'm doing that is that CBI's website is not great at showing this type of stuff. In fact, I would say it's bad. There's a couple different things. How they word it is interesting, but if you have the overland bed bars and you want to mount Maxtrax or some other type of recovery board to it, check these out. They're about, I think, 125. And they'll hold a variety of things. I'm going to show you a close-up here, so that way if you're looking to mount these on overland bed bars or anything else, you have an idea of what they look like as far as cross compatibility goes. So anyway, let's do the install here and we should be good to go. So hopefully this gives you an idea of what I was talking about. This bar here, clearly supposed to be straight, and the front and the rear pretty much both look like this. So I'll show you the rear one. And there's the rear one. So again, bent those pins, bent that. So I could push the bar itself a little. And yeah, anyway, we're just gonna quickly replace them. So I just have this one mocked up here. Both of these go on as simple as just setting them down in the right direction on top of the tower for the overland bed bar. And it mounts to these locations here, kind of on the outside there and on the top there. And I got this one started, leaving them a little bit loose with the nut on the back until we get everything adjusted right with the locking pins on. All right, there we go. And through the magic of video editing, we are all good to go. Got everything snug down. I would recommend, especially on this setup, since these bolts back here on the locking pins are so long, to at least get them lightly snug down before putting the actual mount on itself. Gives you more space. So I ended up pulling them off, redoing that, and we're good to go. So if you guys got any questions, let me know. Wait to put the Maxtrax on, lock these up, and call it good. And if you ever wondered how these locking pins actually lock, you'll see that they will move kind of on this bolt. So once you get them on, you can twist them so they won't come off. And there's no movement here. Once these are on, there's no movement at all. If you have 2 on, or there's 2 on now, if you have 2 sets on, so 4, you would lock on this pin. So this pin would spin like that, and that would stay put. But since we have 2 instead of 4, just locks right like that. I can do it with one hand. And you can put a, whatever, any type of lock through there. I use a cheap lock that's more or less a deterrent. Not too worried about these getting stolen where I live. So anyway, that's about it. Thought you guys might enjoy the deer story and like seeing the Overland bed bar Maxtrax mounts, because again, CBI does not really give a lot of information on their website. So CBI, if you're watching this, fix that. There's literally no pictures at all. So you have no idea what you're buying unless you kind of have some information. In fact, the first time I bought these, I was told they weren't on the website and you had to call them. So I called them and ordered them over the phone. With all this said, forgot to mention the Maxtrax themselves, no damage at all. Nothing. You couldn't even tell anything happened. They were perfectly fine. So the only issues were those dents, the Overland mounts, and the locking pins. So yeah, about 200 bucks in damage. I wasn't even upset. I wasn't even upset at all. Not my first deer experience, obviously. And I think the most annoying part was that my dash camera was not running at the time. I have been having some issues with it auto turning on. Sometimes when I start the vehicle, I've been needing to replace it. I have a new camera in my Amazon cart and I have not bought one yet. So I didn't get it on video. That was the most annoying part to me. So anyway, if you guys got any questions, let me know. Check you later. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we did turn around and go check on the deer to see if it was okay or anywhere around. There was no blood, there was nothing. It was probably fine. We didn't find the deer at all. Those things are so tough. The thing probably just got up, ran away, and it's probably doing its own YouTube video right now about how it ran into my truck and damaged something on it. So, I don't know. They're stupid tough.